Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Crypto Tips. My name is Heidi.
My name is Toby.
And today we have episode 20 of our AMA sessions. So those of you who submitted questions for these in the CT Club, thank you so much for your contributions. The questions are great. We're on episode 20 and very few of these questions have actually been repeats. So that's awesome. Also, the quality of these questions represents the kind of community that we're cultivating there. So if you guys want to check it out, I highly recommend it. It's much more than AMA questions as well. You can get access to our crypto portfolio, trade alerts, classes. You can bounce ideas off each other. Basically, if you're new to crypto, I think it's a really good place to start. So if you want to check it out, a link is down below for the CT Club.
Well, let's get into it.
Yeah. So
John McAfee.
Yeah. Some news today, huh?
Bummer. Yeah. Heidi did a tweet earlier about, there's a lot of conspiracy theories going around. Did he kill himself? Was he suicided? Is he still alive? I've heard, his story of, I would never commit suicide. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, listen, he's not always a person of his word either. Point that out, which nobody's actually pointing that out, is that, he did say, hey, if Bitcoin hits $1 million at a certain time, I think in 2020, right? Or 2021?
Yeah, if it doesn't hit.
If it doesn't hit, he's going to eat his weenie. So I'm like, well, he didn't do that, so come on, he was a big talker, but regardless, he did talk about freedom a lot. He understood what was happening behind the scenes. I mean, he experienced a lot of things with the U.S. government, and he was totally against it. I mean,
also, to each their own, and John McAfee was certainly a very polarizing type of person, but personally, I didn't really agree with a lot of his life choices and things he was getting into, especially lately. I don't know.
Hookers and blow?
Yeah.
I'll pass on that.
And there's, he's been accused of possibly a murder situation with his neighbor in Belize. A lot of stuff was happening with John, and I think even more recently, he was saying he didn't have any crypto left. He's penniless. If he ended up in the U.S. Prison system, he would pretty much rot there, and then, but he didn't have any regrets. So at least there's that. But I mean,
I would take whatever he said with a grain of salt.
I mean, of course, it's unfortunate, and I don't like to speak ill of the dead, but it's kind of crazy to see that happen again, especially because he did declare pretty frequently that he wasn't going to kill himself. But maybe things changed. Who knows? We just want to address what was happening, keep you guys in the loop. So that's the news on John McAfee. Let's get to these questions.
Sure.
First one. Hey guys, if you are new to crypto and bought Bitcoin near the all-time high, $63,000?
64.
What would your strategy be?
I mean, for us personally, hold. Yeah. We have no reason to sell any Bitcoin ever.
Yeah.
That's just us.
I mean, those are pretty much your options, right? If you bought at the all-time high, you're either going to sell at a loss or hold on.
Yeah, nobody knows what the price is going to do short term, but we do know where it's going long term. We've been saying this the last time Bitcoin reached 20,000.
So yeah, basically if you looked at the historical data of the markets, if you had bought at the top in 2017 and just held, 4 years, 3 years, you're fine. And it's usually the same way. No matter when you buy Bitcoin, if you hold it for at least 4 years, you're going to be profitable. But also, there's much more to Bitcoin than just profit. So that I think obviously a lot of people who are new to crypto are doing so to make money, and there's definitely a lot of money to be made here. But I mean, I don't think you're ever going to regret holding Bitcoin, even just for the price, but for those of you who are new, much more important is the usability aspect of it and the amount of freedom that it grants you.
Sure, and I remember buying Bitcoin at $1,150, and I remember it crashing back down to $70. I personally felt like an idiot because I remember selling my Canon 7200 lens, and it was like, that was my prized possession, just to buy Bitcoin at $1,000 or around $1,000. And then it proceeds to lose, 90% of its value. I'm like, well, I believe in Bitcoin more than I believe in photography. So I'm like, I'm going for it. I'm sticking with it. I'm going to put everything in regardless. And it worked out, and now I understand people, when they bought in at 20,000, they were sad. They're like, crap, what did I do? Especially the new people that had just arrived in 2017, 18, going, oh crap, now I'm back down to what, 70% down, 80% down almost? Like, that's crazy. So I get it, but hey, if you hold, this is typically what happens, especially with Bitcoin being incredibly undervalued. This is incredibly undervalued. We have about, okay, so the amount of coins out there are 21 million. Minus probably 5 to 6 million coins. So that gives us about 40 or 14 to 15 million coins out there that are available for everybody to use. The rest are gone, lost, people in dumpsters, whatever. So guys, you have supply and demand like you've never seen before. It's totally hard capped. There's not going to be new ones available. So the more popular the space gets, what do you think is going to happen with the price? I do.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to be thankful that it's divisible by up to 8 decimals, because we're going to be pricing things in terms of those decimals, not in terms of Bitcoin. You're going to be, if you don't know this, the smallest fraction of a Bitcoin is called 1 Satoshi. That's 0.000000001 is 1 Satoshi. So you're going to be, buying everyday things in terms of, 1 Satoshi, 10 Satoshis, or whatever. So I think a lot of people are kind of misunderstanding that. Like when there's like 15 million Bitcoin, it's going to be unspendable, but that's why it's divisible. Okay, next question. Hey, would love to hear some advice on DeFi investment strategies, not which coins to invest in, rather more broad topics, such as certain market indicators that tell when it is more profitable to convert some of your portfolio to stable coins and farm interest, a range of how much percentage of your portfolio you would suggest converting, whether or not you leave a larger percent of your portfolio in DeFi during a bear market, in a bull market, etc. Appreciate these AMAs. Thanks, y'all. So
go for it.
I mean, honestly, during a bull run, you're going to be much more profitable probably holding your crypto portfolio if you're in the right coins than obviously if you're in stable coins or participating in DeFi. Just DeFi, basically. Like if you're comparing the profits you're going to see in holding a coin versus the profits you'll see in farming coins, the risk, number one, is much lower if you're holding coins versus participating in the protocols. And the reward, I think, is greater as well. You're going to make more money holding, again, if you're holding the right coins. So what we're doing, our plan, our strategy is to, when the bull run does a blow off top, we will be dollar cost averaging into stable coins, so taking profits on the way up. And then as we're accumulating these stable coins, we'll be feeding them into these more passive income options. Obviously, the more safe they are, the less of a return you're going to get typically. So if you're thinking of things like BlockFi, for example, for USDC, you're going to get about 9%. Also, those percentages are subject to change.
8.3%.
See, it started changing, 8.3%.
USDT is 9.3%, I think.
It's interesting. And then I wonder why it matters.
I don't know.
Anyways, and then, compare that to the more risky options like DeFi, like true DeFi. BlockFi is CeFi because it's a centralized platform that has their custodians of your coins. That's a risk in itself. I personally don't think BlockFi is a scam. I think they are very heavily regulated, actually, and very unlikely for them to try to get away with anything because it just wouldn't happen.
But if you want to check out BlockFi, the link is down below.
Yeah.
It'd be great if you used our referral code.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah.
And then there's DeFi, which if you guys are interested, you want to know how risky a particular platform is, please. I've been saying it a lot in these recent videos, but it's a great tool that I think everyone should check out. It's called DeFiSafety.com. I'm not affiliated with that website whatsoever.
Really good website.
I just found it to be super helpful.
Yeah.
And one of the highest rated ones there is Aave. AAVE. That's the DeFi platform that we will be using, and I'm going to try to use it through the Matic network to reduce those fees. And there's a lot of different ways you can earn money on Aave, basically, and I'll be doing a tutorial on probably, there's several ways, so probably do a tutorial on each way, whether it's liquidity providing or lending or borrowing or what have you. So we'll check it out, and that's coming probably next week, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, and obviously we'll tell our Patreon members exactly what we're doing. But also just keep in mind that during bear runs, like this is my third bull run. During bear runs, typically or every single time, these altcoins, a lot of the altcoins get decimated, like completely decimated, way more than Bitcoin. So keep that in mind. Like our strategy is like, we're going to be mostly into Bitcoin, all right? Like by far. And then, we will have it in USDT, USDC, maybe USDG.
So yeah, as always, if you guys are in the CT Club, you will be in the know what we're doing with our crypto, because that's the whole point of that group. Anyway, next question. Do you think coins like Theta, Cardano, Solana, and Polkadot will benefit because of the ETH 2.0 delay?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, guys, the whole world is opening up to DeFi right now. And I mean, we've just begun, literally. This is the tip of the iceberg, literally. It probably isn't the whole tip of the iceberg. People are going to need cheaper transactions. They're going to need faster transactions, and because they're going to have to hold so many people's transactions, and if it gets clogged up like ETH gets clogged up all the time, it's going to really turn people off. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's a bummer. So that's why we have ADA. They're going to have Goguen pretty soon coming out with their smart contracts, and then Solana, which already has 65,000 transactions per 300 milliseconds, and then
they also have Solana also has the ecosystem going with decentralized exchanges, liquidity
and it's
providers.
a layer 1, which is amazing.
Yeah,
and also DOT, with their parachains. So I think that things are going to be speeding up. The innovation in this space is more than I've ever seen in my life. I've been in this space for 8 years, and this is ridiculous amounts of innovation, and it keeps going up in multiples, like exponentially. So I would expect this to be rapidly gaining traction very soon, and being pretty seamless for new users.
I mean, also the amount of the network effect, the amount of users that do use Ethereum, the fact that they're annoyed and maybe unwilling to pay those really high fees by participating in it, the spillover of those users onto these other secondary options. Honestly, if we're being realistic, they are secondary to Ethereum. Don't call me an Ethereum maximalist. I don't care. That's the reality right now. Everyone's using Ethereum. And so, these other platforms, again, Theta, Cardano, Solana, Polkadot, probably more so Solana and Cardano whenever smart contracts come out. We're going to talk about that in the next question.
Sure.
But let's just say even just Solana, like the spillover from Ethereum onto this other secondary network is going to be great for that network, and also it's going to test them as well. It's going to be like a mini version of what Ethereum is going through whenever a new DeFi or a new innovation comes out, like a DeFi, NFTs, whatever. Like whenever it's something that it's super trendy and a lot of people want to pour into it, that's when Ethereum is tested. And the amount of people pouring in at that moment is, I think, a fraction of what we're seeing on these other platforms. So I think even just the spillover from Ethereum is enough to test these new networks as well. And that's something that each network, by the way, is going to be encountering, is scalability. All of them now can claim to be so scalable, but there's trade-offs that happen with that, and they don't know until it actually happens, until they're actually encountered face-to-face with those huge users coming in and trying to make all those transactions that they're claiming they can confirm in the super short amount of time. Will be really interesting to see how that actually plays out.
Yep.
A lot of words. Let's see some actions.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to ADA and Solana like competing, just showing like how fast they can they can move. So that's really going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. And when they're tested, that's when, they get better,
Yeah.
hopefully. They either crash and burn or they improve. So it's all for the best.
Yeah.
Next question. Looking for your feedback on my long-term plan for this bull run. Most of my portfolio is towards Cardano. My goal price is to sell most of my Cardano at $8 or $9 and buy back in during the bear market. Do you believe this plan is realistic, and would you do the same thing or something similar?
Okay, so that's, everything depends on Bitcoin right now.
Yeah.
If Bitcoin goes up, yeah, $8 to $9 for sure. I think personally, I thought maybe $6 to $9. That was my price target for this bull run for Cardano. It could rise more. Obviously, I mean they have a 42 million or 42 billion dollar market cap right now, and they don't even have a working product. Like, can you imagine when they come out with smart contracts, Goguen, their KEVN, they're going to go crazy huge, I think. So just give it some time. Goguen should come out later on this year, and that should be really telling of how well that Cardano is going to go. So if we are continuing in this bull run, which I expect us to be doing, I would expect that to happen. If we go into a bear market before that, it's going to take a little bit of time. I don't care how good Cardano does with their updates and everything. It just ain't going to happen. Let's be realistic.
Just to clarify, you are saying that you think it's possible for Cardano to hit $8 or $9
still
within
absolutely
this cycle?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So
but if it doesn't, then
it doesn't, just relax, chill out. You might have to go through a little bit of a bear market, but I don't think, first of all, the bear market is here. I think this is a giant correction. I think we are in a completely different market. We are with billionaires now. We are with, institutions that have hedge funds, Michael Saylor. You have, Carl Icahn's interested in the ETF as well. So you have a lot of these people that weren't interested before 2020-21, and so we are in a completely different market. And just relax, chill. And if we are in a bear run, which I doubt it, but if we are, then expect to get ADA to get annihilated, and that's with the rest of the alts too, like Ether and DOT and Solana. Yeah, they're going to get annihilated. Just all you have to do is look at 2 days ago and look at what happened with Bitcoin. Bitcoin was down 7%, whatever. Who cares? Freaking alts were down like 25, 30%. Keep in mind that's what's going to happen. You're gonna get destroyed in a bear run. All right. That's why we are here. We're here. We have cash on hand to buy during those instances, and that's what we're here for. So anyways, going off topic a little bit, but
also, like, about a month ago, if you guys are who are in our CT club, I hope that you noticed that trade alert that we did, where we did a major huge purge of our altcoins, because the market was on shaky ground and unsure really what to do. We decided to play it conservative as usual. Through things like dollar cost averaging, but also, when you're in a situation like that, we pulled back on a lot of our risky altcoins.
And that wasn't popular.
No.
That was not popular, and it's very hard.
Usually it isn't, because that's what you have to do. You have to go against what, you have to be ahead of the curve. And so a lot of people aren't going to want to believe that that's where it's going, or want to prepare for something, just in case, because you want to believe it's going to keep going up and up and up forever, when that's not necessarily the case. Not to say that this is a bear market now, but you can definitely be a lot more strategic with, at least with the risky altcoins, because let's be honest, if a bear market runs through and these altcoins are down, like 90%, a lot of them aren't going to survive.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be left holding a bag of a stupid altcoin when I could have consolidated into something much more solid.
Yeah, one of my biggest regrets from the last bull run is not is holding on to most of my alts.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I learned and that I will never repeat again, is to put your alts into Bitcoin or stable.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
back then we only had USDT.
Yeah.
So
in 2019 was when we started revisiting all of our altcoins that we had.
Oh
you
my
know, with
gosh.
Ethereum and the ERC20 tokens, a lot of them can be stored within your Ethereum wallet. So most of them, we kind of forgot about, and we went through and we're like, man, these suck. And a lot of them
Yeah.
were like the coins that we thought were going to be really good.
Pretty
and so
painful.
definitely speaking from experience here. And there was a few that came through. Aave was one of those, obviously. Happy to still have that one. That one skyrocketed. So, it's not to say that all these altcoins will die forever, but maybe.
we were actually in the ICO with Aave. It used to be Lend, and then it changed its name to Aave. And we actually met with some of the chief developers of that, and took them surfing and stuff. That was fun.
Yeah.
Martin, if you're there, good to see you.
Okay, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you appreciate these videos, we appreciate it if you leave a like and hit subscribe. And if you want to join the CT Club, see what that community is all about. It's growing and really cool.
Yes.
Link for that is down below in the video description. So.
And check out learningcrypto.com.
Yeah.
Stay disobedient and do not follow the sheep because they suck. All right. See ya.
See you guys.